Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, it might be one center today. It might even be 3 or 5 or 6 people today. But the fact is that there is a feeling that Hindus are not trusted to mind their own affairs, that there is some endemic, institutionalized discrimination. Do you share this?
Rahul, first of all, I would like to castigate you and tell you that you're clearly wrong, because this was obviously a mistake when the authorities allowed the burqa but banned the Mangalsutra, because they should have banned the Bindi too. How dare they allow Hindus to flaunt their identity? I mean, this is a Hindu Rashtra, and let us be very clear. Why are Hindus allowed to be citizens at all now? And secondly, I must castigate you because you've called them as second-class citizens. I'm sorry, wrong. Why have you taken away 6 other classes away from the Hindus? They are not second-class citizens. They are 8th-class citizens. Now, let me explain why. Let me give you 8 reasons why Hindus are not second-class citizens, but 8th-class citizens. Number 1, Kashmiri Hindus like you, forced to be refugees in their own land. That one can settle 40,000 Rohingyas in Jammu and Kashmir, but not 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus, the land's original inhabitants, raped, murdered, pillaged, ethnically cleansed, and then 30 years later, the Supreme Court says it is too late to prosecute the perpetrators. Second reason, Hindu temples being exclusively controlled by the state. Hindus have to beg for Waqf land to celebrate their own festival, Ganesh Chaturthi, when the government has usurped hundreds of thousands of acres of temple land and is responsible for more than 100,000 temples losing lakhs of crores in rental income. 3, the draconian RTE Act that goes against the Constitution of India and that discriminates against Hindus and their schools. Number 4, state-sponsored publications, textbooks, naming of roads and cities, organizing of festivals that eulogize monsters like Aurangzeb and Tipu who perpetrated large-scale Hindu genocide. 5th reason, the drafted communal violence bill, where only the majority, i.e. Hindus, would have been held guilty in a communal riot, even if they were in a minority, for example, in Kashmir. 6, court judgments like the flawed Sabrimala and legislative enactments like the Hindu Code Bill that exclusively purport to reform only Hindu religious practices, but dare not touch practice of other religions. And if they do, the decisions are promptly reversed, like in Shah Bano 7, the barbaric 1991 Places of Worship Act that denies cruelly the Hindus their legitimate right to correct historical injustices and reclaim thousands of demolished temples. Now 8th, the draconian Waqf Act, where a Hindu's property can be usurped and the Hindu can be unilaterally called an encroacher. So these are the 8 reasons, and please don't call them second-class citizens. They are 8th-class citizens. And the sooner we call this an Islamic Republic of India, the better it would be for Hindus to realize this. And finally, did you see how cunningly the gentleman before me brought in statistical normalization to say only 3 centers barred Mangalsutra? Now, if I were to go by statistical normalization, I can also say that every year in India, there are 500,000 cattle trips. So if only 100 Muslims are lynched, it should be all right. It is statistically insignificant. This is the reason why nobody trusts people like these. They are weak not only in maths, but also in science and in humanities, and they're wrong on every count.
Well, now, let me go back to Mr. Srinivas.